Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. It's time for another Senate prediction. This is my third on this channel. And this will just be my June 2020 Sun prediction. I think it's June 27th, so we're nearing the end of the month. And I am done procrastinating on this. I kind of like doing this, but when I have to do it, I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm gonna get right into this. And first, we're gonna characterize our safe states for the Democrats. That's Oregon, New Mexico. So New Mexico is not safe in the presidential election, but in the Senate elections, it'll be safe. Not Illinois, but Minnesota is going to be safe, which is weird. But Virginia's going to be safe. So is Delaware. I watched another YouTuber say that Delaware was going to be safe for the Democrats. That's completely ridiculous. All right, so we have 44 safe Democratic states. Oh my gosh. For the Republicans, that is Arizona, Wyoming, South Dakota, definitely Nebraska after what happened with Chris Janicek. If you don't know what happened, please do watch my video on it. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee. Some people think that Arkansas could be likely because there's an independent running who's actually kind of like he's like a Bernie Sanders. He's a progressive independent. I doubt he'll do anything good for the Democrats there. So West Virginia could be likely, but I don't think it's gonna be. Again, West Virginia's not gonna. Oh my gosh, sorry. West Virginia is not going to be that contested. I mean, I wouldn't be absolutely shocked if Ojeda won this, but again, because West Virginia does elect conservative Democrats, and Ojeda did vote. He voted for Donald Trump in 2016, and I think he's going to tout that. Joe Manchin, Jim Justice was elected. He was a Democrat. So, anyways, they do love their conservative Democrats, but as of right now, I don't think there's any polling on the state of West Virginia. Let's see. Oh, there is. Okay. Let's see. Oh, it's a hypothetical poll of Manchin versus Shelley Moore Capito. Oh. Well, Morrissey. Okay, that's weird. Who was Morrissey? Isn't Shelley Moore Capito running for re-election? I'm really confused. Okay, I'm gonna ignore that because I don't even know who Morrissey is. So, yeah. Okay, now going on to our likely states. Colorado is definitely a likely state. Like, characterizing it any less than likely for the Democrats is. Oh my goodness, oh my gosh. Is ridiculous because Cory Gardner is unpopular. And again, the only reason that he won was because it was a low turnout year in 2014, and he got his base fired up, where his opponent Mark Udall did not. But all the polling is behind by 18, 17, 11, and then these were all taken in 2019, 13, 13. Like, again, it's not outlook not so good for Cory Gardner, and he's tied himself to Trump, so he's gonna sink or swim with Donald Trump. Donald Trump has a net 25 net approval in Colorado, which again is really bad, and Cory Gardner has attached himself to Donald Trump. So again, not good for Cory Gardner. Now Arizona is probably a bit more like maybe you can live with Colorado being likely, but Arizona, it's a lean. Okay, Mark Kelly, according to my model, is on the path to victory with an 8-point victory. Oh my god. Have you yawned so much? Alright. I really do apologize. I don't know why I'm yawning. I did just wake up, but I really don't know why. Alright, so let's continue. Arizona's gonna be likely again Donald Trump in net 15 net approval, which is really bad for I'd expect it to be worse for Arizona. But let's look at the polling in Arizona. There are gotta be some Kelly. Yeah, there are Kelly. Kelly plus 15, Kelly plus 9, Kelly plus 9, Kelly plus 13, Kelly plus 10, Kelly plus 13, plus 9, plus 13. Like, need I go on? Okay, there was one that had McSally ahead by 2. But Kelly, 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 and then we're going back to 2019, even then McSally plus 1. But yeah, this is not going to be competitive. or no, it'll be competitive. But I read an article that the Republicans are already giving up on oops on Martha McSally. So that puts the Democrats at 46 seats. Now we're going to go over to Illinois, which I put as likely for one reason. And that's I think four or five. I'll just say five. So I did put Illinois as likely because mostly for one reason. Illinois is overall could become a swing state in 30 years from now, and I see this because Illinois, their population is declining, similar to like Ohio and Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania. Um, and smaller states, especially in this region of the country, tend to vote with the Republicans. So, oh my goodness. So I did once comment in Let's Talk Elections comment section that Illinois is likely, and I got a lot of hate for that. But let me back it up if you saw my comments. So the polling actually is pretty good for Nick Durbin. I think there is some polling. Yeah, Durbin, Wilson. So, but when you have an independent getting 25% of the vote, that's not good for the incumbent because there is a Republican running. But again, um, it's hard to grasp how well the independent Willie Wilson is going to do. So yeah, now yeah, that's it. So we're 47 seats for the Democrats, but the Republicans do have some catching up. That I'm gonna get them starting in Texas. So this is really interesting because Texas is a competitive. Oh my gosh, is a competitive state at the presidential level. It's going to be more competitive at the presidential level than the Senate level because John Cornyn is he did say some racist stuff, which is not good, but nowhere near as unpopular as Ted Cruz. And now the president is not that popular in Texas. He's -3 net, but still, again, Texas is a red state, and until I see a Democrat win a statewide election there, I'm not going to label it as a toss-up or a teal blue state. All right, so now I'm going to go over to Mississippi, and by the way, there is polling from Texas that is the Senate race, and it has Cornyn ahead by 10 against Hagar, 11, 13, 8. So yeah, okay, Mississippi is going to be likely. Mike Espy did pretty well there in 2018. He only lost by 6 points to Cindy Hyde Smith, who is not one of my favorite senators. I'll be upfront about that. She said voter suppression is a smart tactic, which I think is a disgusting thing to say. But it's not up to like. I wish I could say that Mike Espy is going to win this race, but he's not going to because it's Mississippi and the electorate there is very conservative. Therefore, it'll be very hard for him to win. It's pretty straightforward. See, Espy, yeah, we'll see. So, all right. So there is some polling here, +10, +8, but you have to weight this by party registration, and there are a lot more registered Republicans than Democrats in Mississippi. When you weight it, they're all likely. So, yes, Alabama's going to be likely as well. And usually, I have this as safe, but for those of you who don't know, there is an incumbent, Doug Jones, who is a Democrat in the, I think, one of the reddest states in America. Well, there is. Wyoming is really red. So is West Virginia and Nebraska at the presidential level. But there is a Democrat in West Virginia. His name is Joe Manchin, and there is one in Alabama. So now so he ran against a very controversial person. Again, I don't want to get demonetized for saying this, so go look it up. His name was Roy Moore. I highly recommend that you. All right, never mind. So yeah, so he beat Roy Moore because Roy Moore was a controversial person, and he went by I think like a lean margin because it's Alabama. But I mean, he's running against Tommy Tuberville or Jeff Sessions, but it's probably gonna be Tommy Tuberville. Uh, Alabama. Okay, there we go. So Jones, Sterling Tuberville by 3, Sessions by 2, Tuberville by 14, and then Sessions by 10, Tuberville by 3. Otherwise, one had Bradley Byrne, but he's not going to be the nominee. So yeah, I think it'll be Tuberville. The one scenario where I see Jones holding, or I did see Doug Jones holding onto a seat, was if they ran Roy Moore again, because he did actually run. Now he got his butt kicked because people like, bro, you cost us a Senate seat and you're a not good person. So yeah, now we're gonna go to Georgia, which I really want to put this as a lean because I do like John Ossoff a lot, and because John's Dribble in Georgia is -8 net, and these are updated every day. Because I really do like um we're at 6 now. This is going great because I really do like John Ossoff, but again, this is Georgia, and the Democrats are not gonna. I have a sneaky suspicion Democrats are not going to invest a ton of money into this race. So yeah. Now going on to Georgia special, I used to put it as lean, but to be honest, Doug Collins is a really strong candidate. He's an establishment conservative, which I think Georgia's going to like. And when you have, I think you're going to have Matt Lieberman grabbing the moderate vote, and then Raphael Warnock getting most of the Democratic vote. If you had only one of only one of the Lieberman Warnock people running, like if only Lieberman ran, Um, I think I'd put it as toss up or tilt to the Democrats, but that's not the case. South Carolina is also going to be likely. A lot of likely states on the South. But nope, that's not what we want to do. But yeah. So South Carolina is going to be likely. There is some polling there that shows bad news for Lindsey Graham because again, Lindsey Graham is not popular with the Democrats, but +4 +17. So there was a poll that had him tied with Jaime Harrison. But Jaime Harrison, he's a strong candidate. He's the chairman of the DNC South Carolina. He has out fundraised Graham, but again, South Carolina is a Republican state at heart, and it's going to stay that way, unfortunately, for Democrats who are high on Jaime Harrison. Kentucky is going to be likely as well. Um, yeah, that's it's about it for the likely states. Now, I would have it as lean because, but there is a controversial. I want to see if I can find the primary for Charles Booker versus. I know I spelled Charles wrong. I'm not stupid. Okay. There was So I want to see New York Times. So it will. So Charles Booker is ahead with 43. Yeah. Wait, is that Booker? Yeah, Charles Booker is ahead there. If they were on Charles Booker, it could be safe. But if they were on McGrath, and listen to Amy McGrath speak, she is a very inspirational person. Um, But and again, for those of you who don't know, I'm a liberal. I'm a nasty, dirty liberal. So it would I'd be very, very happy to um see Moscow Mitch lose his seat, but that's not going to happen. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, and I have to accept that. So Mitch McConnell is probably going to hold his seat in Kentucky. Okay, now we're going to go over to I forgot to mention Michigan as likely. We'll see. I used to characterize this as lean. It'll be likely because I think Peters is going to win by 68 points. I know John James ran a strong campaign. He's going to run a strong one again, but high turnout um, is only going to help the Democrats. Gary Peters +14, +10, +18. So I'm actually being pretty generous considering um, what the polls are saying. Okay, now we're going to go to the lean Democratic states, and those are okay. I'm only going to say one, and that is the state of Maine, because Maine is a really weird state because they elected Susan Collins consistently until now, and she hasn't really. Oh, okay. She hasn't really done anything that. If I had voted for her, Susan Collins hasn't. She hasn't really. She is not a 100% Trump backer. She is a Republican, and she will vote with the Republicans more often than not. But I think people are overrating how conservative she is. That's just my opinion. I don't like Susan Collins. I think she needs to go, but that's me, and I'm being honest about this. And I think she's going to lose to Sarah Gideon because the polling is not good for Susan Collins. Um, plus one. Oh, Betsy Sweet. Betsy Sweet. Right. Plus 9 for Gideon. Plus 4. Plus 1. Plus that was taken in 2019. So Susan Collins hadn't been as an. And if we look at Morning Consult senator ranking, Susan Collins. Oh, Mitch McConnell is the most unpopular senator in America, I believe. No, it's Susan Collins. Susan Collins is the most unpopular senator in America. Oh my gosh. So if we look at Collins, she was very popular. I think she was the most popular senator in 2017. Now she is literally the most unpopular. How the tables can turn, Susan. So she's probably going to lose again a statewide election in Maine, which everyone considers to be likely or safe Democratic at the presidential level. I'm putting it as lean. They used to have it as tilt. Now it's going to be lean. Okay, the Republicans have their lean states, starting with the state of Alaska, which I used to characterize as safe. Then I said likely. Now I'm at lean. Um, because Alaska, Al Gross is running a very strong campaign. I've listened to Al Gross speak, and Al Gross is a really interesting person because he's kind of like a Bernie Sanders, because he's running as an independent, but he'll caucus with the Democrats, and he has similar viewpoints to Bernie Sanders. So, yeah, Alaska, Nestler.org, which I think is a really accurate site for predicting Senate elections, and their predictions are let me see their Senate predictions. Okay, let me see. Okay, here you go. So, as you can see here, let's go to Alaska. They have Gross ahead by 8. So, let's talk about Alaska. There's not a lot of polling there because it's Alaska and it's probably the most remote state, but it still has 2 senators. And one of the senators is named Lisa Murkowski, and she is not a big Trump backer. And until 2014, another one's name was Mark Begich, and Mark Begich was a Democrat. How was Begich elected? Well, he defeated Ted Stevens, and Ted Stevens had been serving for forever, and he was really unpopular because he did some bad stuff. Not as bad as Roy Moore, but he did some really bad stuff. So, anyways, Begich won, and then he was defeated by Dan Sullivan in 2014. And Dan Sullivan is probably super beatable, because first of all, he's not even from Alaska. He's from Ohio. He moved there in 2011, and 3 years later got elected. So Begich lost to Dan Sullivan, and Gross could win this, but again, Sullivan is the incumbent, so we're probably going to see Sullivan hold on just because he's the incumbent, and because again, Alaskan voters are not super educated about the issues. Like Alaska is probably, as of right now, the state that's most affected by climate change, and Dan Sullivan voted to say that climate change isn't real. So again, that'll be it for the lean Republican states. For the Democratic states, we have a lot of them, starting in North Carolina, where the polling says it's a lean state for the Democratic Party. Cunningham, yes, Cunningham plus 2, plus 3, plus 9, plus 4, plus 1, plus 2. So, and Tom Tillis is not popular, for those of you who don't know. Wait, Tom Tillis is, oh my god, he was on the top 10. Tillis, yeah, he was, oh yeah, he was doing really badly, and he's doing a little, okay, so he's -3 net, and what's going to cost him is that he is -9 with independents, and he has tied himself to Donald Trump, who is not popular in his state, -10 net, according to Civics, which is updated every day. I remember yesterday I checked this. Alaska was plus something for Trump, and Kansas was minus something for Trump. So proof that they update every day. So I expect Tillis to win, Tillis to lose by 1 or 2 points. Cal Cunningham is a strong candidate, high African American turnout, Joe Biden being a strong candidate for the state, and it'll probably flip to the Democrats. Now Kansas is going to be tilted, and I know what you're saying. Kansas. Okay, maybe you can live with all my other predictions, but why, in God's name, Kansas go to the Democrats ever? Seriously, let's talk about Kansas. Kansas, the polls out of there suggest that it'll be tilt for the Democrats. When you weight it by party identification, it's lean for the Democrats. So Chris Kobach is going to be the nominee in all likelihood. He's the favorite. And Bollier leads him by 1. There was another one that hadn't Kobach had by 1. Bollier plus 2. So, yes, Kobach lost the governor's race in 2018 to Laura Kelly, a progressive Democrat. Bollier, she used to be a Republican, and she switched over LGBTQ rights and governors, and she hated former Governor Stan Brownback. So Laura Kelly, she won the governor's race. Boom. Now we have a Democrat governor of Kansas because she ran against Chris Kobach, who is famous for being a racist voter suppressionist who really doesn't have any proof behind his tactics. And he lost the governor's race in a midterm election. He might even do worse, and he lost this by a likely margin. I think I'm being generous to him by giving him only a till margin loss because Chris Kobach is really not popular in Kansas at all, and the Republicans are doing everything they can to make sure he doesn't get the nomination. They begged him not to run for president, and he's going to get the nomination. If he doesn't, it'll be safe for the Republicans. Maybe likely if Bollier runs a strong campaign, but again, not going to happen if they don't have Kobach as their nominee, because I mean, if they figure out the way to screw Kansas up, then they've all but lost control of the Senate. Because if they're losing in Kansas, they're definitely losing in all these likely states, and they're definitely losing in North Carolina and Maine, and probably Montana, because Montana is a good pickup opportunity for the Democrats. And I say this for one reason: Steve Bullock. I have some friends who live in Montana, and I talked to this was back in February, and I saw them and I asked them about state of Montana politics because, as all of you know, Montana is a really weird state when it comes to politics. And I asked them. So back then, Steve Bullock he wasn't running for Senate. He is now. But Wilmot Collins, who was the mayor of Helena, was the favorite. And I asked them, "Do you think that that if Steve Bullock ran, he would defeat Steve Daines?" And they said absolutely, because he's so popular. I mean, when you look at governor rankings, because he's currently the governor of Montana, and so yes, he's won a statewide election. All these are where's Bullock? Steve Bullock, net net 21, net approval, great with the growth independents and great with Democrats. So Montana does not ever vote down ballot. I mean, Steve Bullock has been elected twice in 2012 with Mitt Romney on the ballot, in 2016 with Donald Trump on the ballot. John Tester, who's in the Senate, he was elected in 2012 with Mitt Romney winning the state by 25 points. So what does that mean? There are a lot of Republicans voting for these conservative Democrats. So Bullock is going to win there. Again, Steve Daines isn't unpopular, but he's not super popular either. So, yeah. Bullock plus 7 even, and then Tester, who ran against Matt Rosendale, he won that race by, I think, a lean margin. Yeah, he won it by 3 or 4 points. Okay, we have one state, and it's Iowa, and I originally had this as lean. Now it's going to be tilt for the Republicans, and I say this because Teresa Greenfield is outperforming my expectations. She won big in the primary, even though I didn't expect her to win by that much, and she is polling well ahead of Teresa Greenfield in the polls. So Teresa Greenfield is pulling well ahead of Joni Ernst in the polls, +3, +3, +2, even although Ernst +1, but that was before Greenfield won the nomination, so convention bump. Iowa, net -7, and plus the fact that Joni Ernst is the third most unpopular senator in the country. And if you want to track Trump, let's see. This is February. In February, remember, COVID hadn't hit, so -5 in Iowa, and in February, his net approval was something like 44%. So, yeah. I could see Greenfield winning this. I don't think that she's the strong candidate. I think she's kind of an establishment candidate, which is not good for Iowa. But so is Joni Ernst, so it could go either way. But I need it to the Republicans because it is Iowa, and Iowa is expected to go for Donald Trump. So thanks for watching this video. Tell me that I'm a liberal, biased, crazy, wacko person in the comment section. I'm sorry that I yawned so much because I just woke up and I guess I was more tired than I expected. So, I just realized I should not have characterized New Hampshire as a safe Democratic state. It'll be likely because it's New Hampshire, but Gene is popular. She'll win re-election. So that's basically it. Please subscribe if you have not already. It would really help me out. And yeah. Also, the Google form for the subscriber decide election night is due to today at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later today. I'm going to be releasing a video later today. Bye, everyone.